Hello, how you doing? I'm going to talk to you today about conjuring. Now, conjuring and chanting and rhyming is all the same thing. They're just synonyms of each other. But what you're doing when you're conjuring up an evil spirit or a demon. Because the demons know that everything on the earth is moved by speech. Because the Lord said, "Let there be light," and there was light. He said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the heavens," and there was a firmament. Solomon says in Proverbs, he said, "Thou art snared by the words of your mouth." If you keep saying that you're not going to be anybody, you're not going to be anybody. Everything on the earth realm is moved by speech, and the demons know that. So they tell mankind to conjure them up. And see, when you conjure these demons up, those evil spirits up, you don't know what you're getting. You really don't know. You could be getting a demon. You could be getting one of your ancient spirits, one of your ancient ancestors, one of your from 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, 500 years ago. Okay, and you giving them permission to inhabit your body. In Africa, they do it all the time. They always conjured up something in Africa. You call it voodoo, witchcraft, whatever. Shamans in South America call it shamans, whatever. It's conjuring. It's conjuring. And they know that they're conjuring up evil spirits. They know they're conjuring up devils. They know that. But they do it all the time. They're very much aware. No matter what religion you're in, if you're conjuring or chanting, you're bringing up a demon, and they know that. People who practice these religions where they're chanting or conjuring, they know they're bringing up demons. They know that. There was this lady who she's still in ministry, but she said she just couldn't seem to shake this spirit of prostitution and promiscuity, because she pretty much said that. And why? I think it's because in her ancestral tree, there were some women like that. It could have been more than one woman like that who was a prostitute, was promiscuous, and just passed down to her. But she said she couldn't seem to shake it. See, you need supernatural deliverance from Jesus in order to shake that. You really do. See, chanting and conjuring is unscriptural, because the Bible says, "Let us come boldly to the throne of grace that we may find help in time of need." The Bible also says, "Come into his presence with thanksgiving and praise." Thank you for the little things, the big things. I remember years ago, I lost one of my earrings, and it really bothered me because I really liked this particular pair of earrings. It just really bothered me. But, I'm not going to worship the earring. I said, "Okay, Lord, I lost the earring." Okay. But what happened is that I parked somewhere. As soon as I opened the door, there was my earring on the ground. Now, see, God cared about that little thing. It seemed like a little thing, but God cared enough about that little thing to restore me my earring. He cares about the little things in your life, the big things in your life. People who do this conjuring or chanting, they know that they're calling up evil spirits from hell. They know that. They're intelligent people. They know that. See, a lot of modern day music, a lot of music is conjuring. Particularly this modern day music is just conjuring. That's why you got to be careful when you say the lyrics, because you're conjuring up something. You could be conjuring up some kind of evil spirit. The fallen angels are the ones who taught mankind how to conjure. I'm not talking about the 1/3 of rebel angels who got kicked out of heaven. They're in turn and transformed from beautiful angels to devils. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the 1/3 that's in hell. I'm talking about the fallen angels, the 200 or so that made it with human women. They taught the human women how to conjure, how to do witchcraft and voodoo, how to call things up. In other words, they gave them the secrets of heaven. They gave them the secrets of heaven because they know everything you say, everything on earth has to do with what you say. But that's been passed down from generation to generation. I cannot emphasize enough that there's a difference between the rebel angels, which is 1/3 of the angelic force from heaven. They got kicked out of heaven and got turned into devils. And there's a difference the 200 fallen angels who fell from their original estate and made it with women. And then you have the angels who are still in heaven. I cannot emphasize there's 3 different types. I don't know why people don't understand that. They always mix in the fallen angels and the rebel angels. No, they're 2 different people. The 1/3 of the rebel angels, they in hell got turned into devils. They got kicked out of heaven, turned into devils. And then there's this 200 fallen angels. They got kicked out of heaven because they made it with human women. They did not get turned into devils. Even though they're in hell and they have lost some of their beautiful countenance, they still kind of look like angels. See, that's why a lot of women, human women still mate with them. They still mating with human women. African women still mating with them. African women said she had 6 children by she didn't have 6 children by a devil. She had 6 children by a fallen angel, because she can't have sex with him if he looks like a devil, because all she's gonna say is ah. Okay, so she had sex with a fallen angel who still looks something like a man, who still has his countenance, but he's in hell, so it's gonna be an evil child anyway. She said she has 6, 3 boys and 3 girls. 6 children by this fallen angel. So the fallen angels are still, and look, that's the fallen angels are still mating with not only African women, women of all cultures. They still mating with human women, okay? As far as I know. But the fallen angels still have somewhat of their countenance. They were not turned to devils. But they're in hell, so hell's going to take a toll on them, on their countenance. So they're not going to look very handsome. All these religions that tell people to chant or conjure, they calling up these spirits. And the people who do that know that. They know they're conjuring up evil spirits. But see what happens is Satan disguises himself as an angel light. When they chant or conjure up an evil spirit, Satan disguises himself as an angel light and say, do this, do that. Here's a song, play, sing this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, as something benevolent. So they think it's something benevolent. Oh, after I chanted, they say, after I chanted, I got an idea for the song. The song came from hell, period. Okay? Now, see, these spirits are not practical. They don't tell people how to stop the flooding. For example, they don't tell people to stop littering. They don't tell people how to, how to get to med school. They can't pay their bills, etc. But see, God is practical. I remember God gave me a revelation on how to stop the flooding in my yard. Of course, I pick up the litter, which comes from other yards. And God has gotten me through a lot of schools. Okay. And every time I go to school, I do well. Okay. God's paid a lot of my bills, mortgage, rent, electric bill, too many. And God's kept me from a lot of car accidents. So God is very practical. But this chanting and conjuring is not scriptural. You're calling up spirits. Okay, that's why particularly these modern day celebrities, when you see them do all this wild dancing, that's an ancient spirit. And it could be from 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, or 3,000 years ago. That's why you see them doing all these bizarre dance moves, because those spirits, one of their ancestors went to hell and probably was a dancer in the king's court. And so they just call them up and they inhabit them and do all that strange dancing. And some of the music that a lot of modern day celebrities make sounds very ancient. It doesn't even sound modern. It sounds very ancient. But conjuring is not scriptural. You're conjuring up demons. And that demon ain't going nowhere. You have to be supernaturally delivered by Jesus. Okay? That demon ain't going nowhere. People say, well, they only have that demon when they go on stage. That demon ain't going nowhere. That demon is within them 24/7. Okay? And you can kind of tell that people, they just have another spirit when they go on stage. Have a nice day.